tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
What's wrong with being? What's wrong with being confident? Come on, give us a bit of Demi Lovato!
I'm so obsessed with this song. We were singing it before. You both
What's
had this
wrong
song in your
with
head,
being
right?
confident? So how are we, guys? Are we going good today? Because guess what? We have another episode of Vanderpump Rules. Unfortunately, Megan is not in the house today because she is visiting her family in Pennsylvania. So I'll be taking over as the lead host today, and it's definitely one killer episode, so I can't wait to get started. So my name is Dan Babic, obviously, and you can find me on the Instagram at Dan Babic, and find me on the Twitter at DanBabic_. But girls, come and introduce yourself. We have a new beautiful woman on the panel today. Fern, please introduce yourself.
Fern Ronay here, filling in for my dear friend Megan Stecker. She'll be back next week.
And I am Justine. I'm here every week. So you can find me on Twitter at Justine DiVanna 3 and on Instagram at Let's Face It with Justine. And you didn't say your Twitter.
Oh, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fern Ronay, Ronay.
So I've got to say, guys, what do we think of tonight's episode? Because it was kind of full of drama, very, very intense moments. I just wanted to get your general consensus before we get into it. First off, what did you guys think?
A lot happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot happened.
It wasn't like action-packed, like people beating each other up, but it was like people's stories moved. Like Lala and James, like their stories certainly moved forward.
It wasn't like there was a lot of fighting or anything crazy going on, but when you look back, there was like a lot of backstabbing drama. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of like behind the scenes.
And finally, we got rid of Brittany because she's gone back to Kentucky. So I was very happy about that. What did you guys think about the Brit? Because she was very short-lived, and she was obviously going to make Jax a good boy, and he was finally found the girl of his dreams, but she's back in Kentucky. So I wanted to know what you girls thought about that.
I honest to God, I feel really bad, but I forgot about her. Like, I didn't even notice that she left, because to me, she just played nothing for me.
She wasn't around long enough for us to get to know her and have them. We didn't even really see them together a lot, so she was too short-lived to notice her absence.
It was almost just another slut that Jax has got with. Let's be honest. But before we even get really into it, we've actually got a couple of fan questions, because I had a lovely email this week from a beautiful girl named Karen Rodriguez. Isn't that a beautiful name? She's all the way from Texas, and she doesn't have any social media.
I feel like I've heard that name before, though, right?
Rodriguez is very popular in the Spanish communities and all of that. It's kind of like Smith. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't have any social media, and she studies very hard, but she watches our show to relax. Aww. So I said to her, do you know what? Email me away. What questions do you want me to ask, the panel and all of that, and we can answer them before we even get involved. So her first two questions were, have we ever been to Pump and Sir, which all of us have been to Pump and Sir, and what are they really like? Because she's obviously from Texas and she doesn't come out to LA too often, so she wants to know what they are really like to dine to. So I wanted to get all of your experiences, because I think what it looks like on the outside and what it really is are two different things. So do you give your opinion?
I've actually only been to Pump once, but I went last year after the AFTERBUZZ holiday party. Megan and I went to Pump.
Very nice.
We got in 2 seconds. She sees James and takes a picture with him, and he was so sweet. Not like the James we're seeing this season. He was such a doll. Yeah, so I had. You go to my social media. At some point last year, I have a picture of Megan and James at Pump, and our impressions of it were, it's so Lisa. Everything was pink and beautiful, and it's beautiful.
What about you? Have you been to both? Have you?
Yeah, if you watched, I think it was maybe last episode, I think I mentioned that I was talking about how I've been to both places before, like a bunch of times, and I have never once seen any of them there. I've never seen any of them there. And I am just convinced that it's just for the show. Like, I highly doubt, now that they have fans, now that people know who they are, I highly doubt that, like, oh yeah, on a Saturday night, they're just like bartending. I don't know. I could be wrong,
I
but
have to say, I mean, just based on my brief experience, James was there and he was DJing.
it's crazy.
Yeah, he's in there all the time. He's always in the DJ booth. Yeah.
But was he not as well known?
Well, it was last season, so it was last December. I don't know. What was the status last December?
Yeah.
He was on the show. He was sweet last season. People liked him. We wondered why he was with Kristen. I don't know.
I think, well, he's definitely always there, but I think he's just
I
kind of
think
showing
he really
his true colours now, kind of. I think when you're on a
Yeah.
reality show, eventually it does come out and all of that. But I'm going to be
Yeah.
really honest about Pump and Sir as well, because I obviously think a lot of people want to know, because we're so lucky that we have the luxury of living in LA and we get to go to these places frequently. But Pump's food isn't very good. There we go.
I've
Just
never
being honest.
eaten there. I've never had food.
Everyone will
actually
agree
didn't
with
eat
you.
there either.
Very pretty, stunning, but the food's
Beautiful.
actually not very good.
Oh.
And Sir, in the past time, was also had terrible food, but has since really brought it up a notch.
Okay.
But the drinks at Pump are awesome. So
Amazing.
it's
The
amazing
poutine.
the drinks at Pump. But actually, the food's very average at Pump. So I just thought I'd.
Yeah, I've never had the food at Pump or Sir, but I remember I went and had, I don't know, like a typical girls brunch, and we're like, we have to go to Pump just because, like, I don't know, we just wanted to. And we really didn't eat. We had mimosas, and we just felt like we were trying to be cool. Like, we weren't anybody, but we're like, this is fun. And it was just the ambiance is amazing. Like, I just want to go there just for the ambience.
Yeah,
It's just so beautiful.
There's like an outdoor garden with
Yeah,
these
yeah.
beautiful trees, and it's stunning.
Perfect. Well, we've
Yeah.
got another question from Karen, but you know, I'm going to save that for later on because I want to get straight into it. Because first up in the episode, we have Jax with a bit of a conspiracy theory that he believes Scheana has got Shay's balls in a blender, pretty much without saying those words, and that she is controlling, and that no wonder he has gone a little bit cuckoo, crazy town. So, what do you girls think about that?
I mean, I think what the hell does Jax know? He's not married, and I mean, look at his track record. You know, he's entitled to his observations,
Yeah.
but he's not married, and he's not in their marriage, and every relationship's different, so he should probably mind his own business. If they're really concerned about their friend Shay, who sounds like, you know, that's no joke, that if he's really addicted to pills, they should all be helping him to get better, get to the
Totally.
root of the problem. Hopefully he's going to therapy off camera. He's not going to get better with scrambled eggs.
Where are you from? Because
New Jersey.
I am loving your accent. Woo, so you both get the Jersey side. Yeah.
This is completely off topic, but a lot of people ask me, they're like, oh, you're from Jersey, I don't really hear the accent as much. Okay, let's clarify this up. She is from North Jersey, and anyone that watches The Real Housewives of New Jersey will notice she is kind of up in North Jersey, and that is where The Real Housewives are from. So when people ask me, oh, you don't sound like The Real Housewives, I am from South Jersey. So there's a really big difference there. So this
is
is
a
my Jersey
regional
girl.
difference.
Because she's closer to New York.
I wrote a blog post, how to talk with a New Jersey accent. Google it.
There we go.
It's
And what
very
about you? We need to get back to on topic. What did
Yeah.
you think of the whole Jax saying that Scheana is a controlling bitch, pretty much? What do you think about that?
I think Jax, every week I say this. Every week I don't know what to say about Jax because I think he's ridiculous. And how does he have any right to judge on a relationship when he can't even keep his own relationship?
I think he's just doing a bit of the stirring of the pot. You know, because that's his kind of character thing in this season. He's really just kind of planting seeds here, planting seeds there, and just trying to make the drama. I don't think he really thinks that.
Yeah.
But why not? Because obviously Sheena's very easy to wind up. It's a very sensitive
Yeah.
topic.
Right.
So I think he's just playing a bit of a game there.
Yeah, I mean, she is definitely the dominant one in the relationship. I think it's kind of obvious, and it's fine for him to observe that. But marriage is too sacred to say it's not going to last. You know, it has a longer shelf life is so cruel.
It's
he
so
should just
mean. I mean,
keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, he's not married. He's clearly nowhere close to being married. So I feel like a part of him is kind of jealous. Like, wow, I wish, even though Scheana and Shay's relationship is not doing really well right now, I think he's jealous that, like, they even are trying to work on it and they're actually married, because I just think he doesn't really know, like, what he's doing with his life. That sounds fucked up.
Totally. Because Fern, you're a real girl. That's why I like having you on the planet, because you're very similar to me. And you just say it how it is. You say what you think, and are very nice. Oh, thank you. Well, you haven't met us just yet. You should see. We're not as nice. We can get a little bit mean. But I wanted to know your opinion, because we were kind of talking before the show aired, this episode, that they're very hard to like, the cast. That they aren't very likable. And I want
and this season, last season, Kristen, she was a producer's dream. The things she would say was came right out of the producer's dream list of remember the ridiculous things
she was crazy, yeah.
I just want to break up Tom and Ariana. And this year, if you told me, I would feel so sorry for her this year. She has been cast. She probably said, I'm not coming back unless I'm a sympathetic character.
Totally.
And it has been played that way to a T, and I have such sympathy for her, especially after this episode.
Yeah, I have sympathy for her too, and I never thought I would say that either. And I agree with you when you're saying that they each do something that's a little annoying, but the Tom and Ariana thing, I like them, but I agree. There's nothing really likable about them. I kind of just they're kind of in the distance to me. They're not really the main. When I'm I'm gonna watch the show, I'm excited. I don't ever think of them.
Right.
But I don't know. I really like Scheana. I really do. I think that she really is trying. Nothing about her seems mean. Maybe she likes to stir up a little drama, but at the same time, don't they all?
I'm just going to put it out there, because we like to keep it real. Are you just saying that you like Scheana because you've obviously got mutual friends with Scheana, and we're trying to get Scheana on the show soon? Are you saying that just because obviously you've got mutual friends with her and we're trying to get her on the show, or do you really like it?
No, I genuinely like her, and people can think whatever they want. They can think, oh yeah, you just like her, because I don't know her at all. I have a friend that knows her. They're not even friends. And she's like, oh, I could see if, she wants to come on the show. And I'm like, that actually would work out good, because Scheana is my favorite. And I've liked her since the beginning, because I don't know, she's likable to me. There's nothing, it'd be different if it was Kristen. And then I'm pretending to like Kristen so she'll come on the show. No. So anybody can believe what they want to believe. People are going to talk and think that I'm just saying that. No, I genuinely like her.
She seems like a good person.
She really does.
She does. Yeah, I think even we see with Lisa and stuff, because I like Lisa, but I think she can be a little bit fake. And especially having met her quite a few times. And I used to live a block away from Pump, so I used to just eat there all the time. It wasn't even, because I was a huge fan of the show or anything. It was just because it was convenient. And so I know a lot of the wait staff there. And as terrible as it sounds, not very nice. Lisa, to some of the staff members. And cold, a little bit cold, pretentious, snobby. Look at me, I'm just shit canning.
Did you ever see her yell at any of the waiters?
I never have, but one particular guy, I'm not going to dish out names because I'm all about revealing, but I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. Right. But I get it. Because you constantly bombarded as a celebrity and stuff. But I think even when she gets photos with the fans at the restaurant, she's very apprehensive and rolls her eyes back and all of that. Really? Ken's super nice. I've met Ken heaps of times. And I kind of think, I get it would be annoying, but when you're at your restaurant and the fans have made that restaurant and made it such a success, because the food's shit, it is pretty, but the food actually sucks. Yeah. And not very nice.
Huh. Not very grateful.
Not very grateful. But I still like her and stuff. So that's why I started to notice, since having that insider information about her. Oh my God, I'm in a shit canning mood today. But I even know, having interviewed Kathy Hilton as well, and she pretty much, without saying it, told me that she thinks that Lisa's the most manipulative out of all the Real Housewives and all of that. And you can
love all this dirt.
I know, it's so crazy, but you can kind of see it almost in the show that she's being a little bit fake and she's trying to act like the mother hen figure.
Yeah.
And yes, this is what you do, darling. But I think when she talks to Scheana, it's no bullshit and it is just real.
Yeah, and I think another reason why I think that I relate to Scheana and why I do like her, and like I said, people can think that I'm just saying that, but I know what it's like with the whole addiction thing, like having people in my family have addiction problems. So I think I tend to sympathize with her and like her even more because watching what she goes through. No matter like what she's trying to do, if people are thinking that she's like, being too soft on Shay, I know exactly what she's going through, not because of like my significant other, just because of other reasons. So I think I watch her and I'm like, I feel exactly what she's feeling. So therefore you connect with people that you relate to.
Of course, yeah. I get what you're saying too. Like about the whole cast, like what do we think of them overall, there's nobody to root for. Even though Scheana, I think, is probably the sweetest, there's no like hero. Like there's nobody that you're tuning in to like root for. They're kind of all just...
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then we would, Tom and Orion, it was super nice, but boring.
Yeah, like they're not hysterically funny, like they're not like lovable, but they're reasonable. I mean, they have good heads on their shoulders compared to everybody else.
I feel like their lives would be like, imagine them going on a date, or imagine them, this is getting really weird, but imagine them in the bedroom. Is that like kind of weird to bring that up? Like I feel like they would just be so boring. Like
so,
I feel like
calm.
Yeah, like I feel like Ariana would not be the one to like really go out and do anything crazy. I'm throwing that out there because I'm thinking about it, and I was like, for some reason in my head, I'm like, what is their sex life like?
I feel like we're going to get so much hate from tonight's show, but who cares?
Twitter.
Yeah, tweet us away. But I almost think like she's a bit of a waste for being casted. Come on,
Who?
Ariana. What's the point? Like,
She's
like
really
what is she bringing to it?
I never go on. I never once sit down and go, can't wait to see Ariana tonight. Can't wait to see what she says.
But I can't wait to see what comes out of Jax's mouth. But I like, I think he's nuts.
Because I kind of, I'm going to get the whole, you're women shaming again, but she's not, I mean, if you're not, I don't know, I feel like because reality shows trash, that's why we watch.
Right.
Trash. But, so if she doesn't have a personality, you want her to be really fucking hot. Like, you really want her to be stunning, but pretty. But like, you're not watching her because she's a complete babe town. She's just kind of there.
And no, I was gonna say it's hard for girls to be like, oh, she's this, because then they're like, well, you guys are ugly. Like, don't talk about her. So like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think she's ugly by any means, but like, I know exactly what you mean.
Stunning,
yeah. Like they could. There's so many people, let alone LA, that they could cast.
Maybe her and Tom really fall in love. Like sometimes we just assume that it's fake for the show.
Yeah,
maybe they have. Yeah, because
crazier things have happened.
Because I think sometimes it's like, I try not to be judgmental, but when you put yourself on a reality show, I mean, that you're asking for it. Come on, you're asking for the the hate and all of that, and for people to give their opinion. So that's why I don't mind going there, because it is a reality show. It's trash.
Right. And
so
I feel like they know.
They know
when
that.
we talk about them, like, we don't hate them.
No. Oh my God! Look, Twitter's going off. There we go. Can't wait to see it. But anyway, let's get even more back into the episode, because Layla and James had a bit of a makeout, which we didn't even see on camera.
That was the weirdest thing. No, seriously.
We all were like, what?
They started flirting, and then he was like, oh, like something like, she was talking about how he was drunk and stuff, and she was like, oh yeah, well last night, or no, someone said something about like, oh, it was just a makeout, and we literally looked at each other. I was like, wait,
when?
That is something so important that you think that they would 100% show that.
Were there actually not cameras around? I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
No, like, why is it all of a sudden, like, you'd think they'd build that up, like, oh my God, like, what happened? Did they hook up? It was just like they said it, and then we were taken back. We're like, wait, why did we have no, like, I'm confused.
It was so confusing. You would think they would keep going back to the clip of them getting ready to kiss.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
That's why you kind of like, did it really happen? They just kind of made it up. Yeah.
The producers are like, not enough's happening, so let's pretend you two made out.
Because one thing about that, because Layla was all like, if Kristen comes for me, I'm gonna not bash you, but be where girl, war is on. But then when push came to shove, when Kristen confronts her, she's like, I don't want a part of this. I'm all about the girls. I'm all about being nice and feminism and all of that.
It's so true.
The feminism stuff. Like, I can't with this whole, like, feminism shit. Like, come on. That's a whole other thing to talk about, which we seriously cannot even get into. But I think that, I don't know, I think that when the producers were probably asking her when she's sitting down and getting interviewed, what do you think about Kristen? They're probably egging her on, like, Kristen said this about you, Kristen did this.
Absolutely. And
she's sitting there like, well, they'd be like, what would you do if Kristen came up to you? I'm just assuming this is what they did. What would you do if this happened? She'd be like, you know what? Screw that. Like, Kristen's gonna get it for me. And then when push comes to shove, who knows if it was her seriously, like, becoming a coward, or if she genuinely was like, wait, I'm actually kind of feeling for this girl in this situation. Like, maybe she wasn't all talk. It's just the situations kind of were different.
I think she was genuine for a moment. She said when he put his arm around me and she was sitting right across, I felt like she was trying to say, like, she felt bad. She probably, like, cringed for her. And then, I don't know. Karma's a bitch. And, if you're hooking up with someone and they're not broken up yet, not smart. And she probably was like, let me fix this somehow before I get my ass kicked.
You think she didn't know? You think she knew? I thought she didn't know.
I don't know, because she made a comment in the interview, like, they broke up 5 minutes ago while he's free now, meaning Kristen doesn't know they're broken up, which is Kristen being made a fool of and you don't care. So then she kind of like changed her tune when she was like confronted.
Yeah, I think it was almost one of those moments of just being authentic and real, because it was putting on a bit of a show, because as we've always said, she's new in this season, so she needs to come in with a bang. So she's had this big, larger than life personality. But from day one, I think she's deep down a good girl and she's putting on the show. And then when she realised, because obviously Kristen, let's be honest, crazy town last season, crazy town, you don't think someone like that's real. You're like, she's so bloody crazy, who cares?
Right.
So, and then she's like, oh,
right, like
she's a real person.
Exactly, like I'm really hurting this girl sitting in front of me.
Totally,
exactly.
yeah.
And like I said, that whole manipulating thing with because I've had friends that are on reality shows before, and they just tell you that, especially the interviews, it's all pretty in the background, and then they zoom up, that they ask you questions, and it's all, they can cut whatever, so they could say, hey, what do you think about Kristen? She called you a whore. And then
exactly.
they have you answer, but then cut, like if say that you're like,
exactly.
oh, well, I don't know, but I would probably say something to her, they'd cut it. I would say something to her, so
Exactly.
I know people that have been
that
there.
brings us back to Karen Rodriguez because her question is, she believes Kristen is a smart girl, which I believe as well.
I do too.
So she was saying, and she wanted us to answer, if Kristen is so smart, why is she chasing after a little immature boy? What do you girls think?
Very good question.
I wish she would get a Twitter so she could live tweet us.
I know, well, she wants to call next week, but she's like a super fan, so I said just email me, girl. But what do you guys think about that?
I mean, last season James he seems so sweet, and I was like, he's younger than all of them. He seems more mature. But this season, I don't know if the producers told him you
Step it up.
Amp it up, yeah.
Yeah, or you're off. And I feel like he's almost going overboard to
trying
too hard to be a jerk almost.
Totally.
I think that, I don't know. I didn't meet him, so you said you met him.
For 2 seconds, and he was super sweet, but you can never tell.
Yeah, because Megan, who is the other host that isn't here, she said that James and Kristen came in last season, they were super nice, and his whole demeanor, he wasn't portraying himself as much as an ass. And I think that it could either be that the producers are telling him to step it up, or he's getting more popular because he is so good looking that it's just getting to his head. Even these people you think are nice, it gets to your head, and he could just be acting crazy. So I think Kristen, when she started loving him or whatever, I think she is a smart girl, so I think she fell in love with the guy that's not this. I think she said that this episode. What she is looking for isn't real anymore.
Yeah, I think he's deep down a good person as well. I just think he's one of those people, a dick when he drinks. We all know those people.
And he's 22.
Great people, but when
so
they drink, they're a dickhead. Because I had an experience with him. I was at Pump one night, and we just ended up in the same taxi and all of that, and we went to the same nightclub, and it wasn't good.
Wait, what happened?
Exactly like he is on the show, probably twice to 3 times as worse in real life. So we were
Really? Wait, tell us what happened.
I'll tell you guys.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, so I was just at Pump one night, I was drunk or whatever, and then we were just dancing because he was DJing and all of that. And then there was a group, I made friends with these British girls and all of that, and I was getting with one of James's best friends at Pump. And then we were like, let's go. And he was getting with this chick, I think her name was Jess at the time.
You're so cute, Dan. I want to follow you around in LA.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Just funny, and he was getting with some girl.
When was this?
This was... I can actually find out if I go into my phone.
Well,
I can tell you.
Was he with Kristen?
No,
I'm just trying to get.
I think he was. I think it was just after the show finished wrapping.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was seeing this girl was hungry tiger bad. That just wanted the fame, just anything. She's like, oh my god, someone who's remotely famous likes me. You could just see her. She was so excited, and she wasn't the prettiest of girls, and I think she just kind of caked it on for the night, pushed her tits up, and she was acting a little bit because she looked. You could just tell that she was just having a really hot night, and she was a bit dorky and all of that, and he was just cooking up with everyone in front of her and said, get off me, and she's like, but I love you, I want to go back to your house. He's like, you mean nothing to me. But she was just hungry tiger, she just kept going and pouncing and pouncing and pouncing, and then we all got in a cab, and he's like, let's all get in a cab, and we all get in this massive maxi taxi, and he's like, we're going to this club, and then he's like, no, we're going to this club. Anyway, we kept going from location to location, and then we get to Bootsy Bellows. of course, the hot trending nightclub, and the taxi bill's like $30 at this point, and he's like, I'm not fucking paying, I'm not paying, you pay, and wouldn't pay, and he's like, made the chick pay.
What?
The chick that he was mean to?
Yeah.
And then she probably did it openly. Like,
and then just one of the British girls just ended up paying, and then we tried to get into Bootsy Bellows, and it was like 2 a.m. So they're like, we're shut. Do you know who I am? And then nightclub to nightclub. Do you know who I am? Snuck in, got kicked out, hissing out with girls. Let's go to oh my god. Now I'm fully revealing. I mean, yeah.
But do you see why I said that he's letting the quote unquote fame get to him? That I think that even if he is a good person, he's 22. Yeah. Also, the drinking definitely does something to him, and like the kind of fame, it is getting to his head. And I 100%. When people say drinking isn't an excuse, okay, in some situations, no. But honestly, in some situations, yes, because I know myself, like, I'm not the same person when I'm blacked out wasted. I've said stuff I didn't mean. I've said stuff that wasn't even true. So that wasn't my true me. So when you're drunk, the difference is just stop doing that. Like, the difference with me is I didn't like who I became when I was too drunk, so I've chilled out and stopped doing that. And he just keeps going.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, we're waiting for like a big response, and you're just like, hey,
I have to process it because I am a big believer in you are who you are when you're drunk. Like if you're an angry person, you're an angry drunk. If you're a happy person, you're a happy drunk. But I have gotten insanely drunk and said I think I've said things where like I thought I was having a conversation with someone that the conversation wasn't happening, but you get so stupid that you're just stupid. And I feel like, maybe he is a good person deep down, but like you said, the fame is fueling something in him that is very ugly, and he should probably stop getting blacked out drunk and acting like an idiot.
Yeah, because I still like him. It's so funny I'm just telling you that story because it's just really what happened. But I still like him. I still think he's fun. And I mean, I even know, like, I cringe. I said that. I died of embarrassment. I remember one time I got kicked out of a club, and it was because... I don't know, I was really young, and it was because I felt like I got kicked out because I wasn't worthy of being there, because that particular night I wasn't particularly dressed up, and everyone was really well dressed up, and everyone looked a certain way, and I was very overweight at the time, and it wasn't on point.
I cannot
imagine that.
Very fat, and I felt like I got kicked out because I wasn't good enough for the place. Maybe it was just an insecurity thing, and I said to the bouncer, do you know who I am? And cringed, like, mortified. Like, I cannot believe I said that. Like,
but isn't it amazing?
Wait, why did you say
it? Because like all of this internal stuff is going on in your head that made you say something like that.
Yeah, because you wanted them to think you. Yeah, you wanted him to think. Do you know who I? And I'm like, I would rather him think that I'm a nobody. Like, well, that I'm just this.
If Cameron followed any of us around at 22 drunk, and then if we had been rich and famous on top of it, we would all be nightmares.
Absolutely, yeah.
Exactly, and I think everyone forgets that he is 22 because most of the cast is
22?
late.
Like, I know he's 20s.
Most of the people in the cast are late 20s, early 30s. So, like, I know me, I'm about to be 25 this week. So, going from 22 to 25, how much I've matured, even from the age of 22 to 23... Like, in your early 20s, it's crazy. But then again, I don't know. It's an iffy thing. Like, we're never going to know. Seriously.
Right.
We're just not going to know.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll see an evolution over the rest of the season because he seems to be very happy with Lalo now, if you look on his Instagram.
He's all about the Lala, but then obviously we saw next week in the promos that he's getting with someone else. So, and he's having sex for 7 hours.
Oh, I thought maybe that was indicating it was Lala.
Ooh.
I thought so too.
That's what I thought. I thought like she was like, I can't do this right now. Like, you're embarrassing me, thinking maybe he's like talking about them. I have no idea.
I don't know.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. But one thing I'm dying to see is what's going to happen with Shay, because we obviously had Scheana kind of sweeping it under the rug a little bit this week and saying that she thinks everything is fine because they've decided they're just going to go back to the way that they used to be, and she's feeling optimistic. Tom and Ariana have come over, they're going to cook the healthy meals, and everything's just fine.
It's like, go ahead.
No,
it's like Tom Cruise being like, you just eat healthy, exercise, take vitamins, and you'll be cured. Like, if he truly has an addiction, needs an addiction specialist. He needs real help. Healthy eating, it's wonderful, but I don't think it's going to cure him of his addiction. I feel like they're like kind of glossing over what the problem is. She's like, we're just going to go back to acting normal. No, you need to go back to figuring out what the problem is at the root of it and helping him. That's the answer.
Yeah, I think that, addiction is so much more intense than, people make it out to be. It's like, oh, well, just don't take that drug. Don't do this. Don't do that. And Scheana is definitely, like you said, glossing it, like, oh, no, we're fine. We're just going to eat healthy. Like, that literally is not going to work. And I guess maybe she's never dealt with addiction problems besides her husband. But, like I always said, knowing from a personal excuse, like, that literally means nothing. Like, that's like basically telling my stepdad, my mom's ex-husband that was addicted to pills, by saying, here, let me just cook you some eggs and then you won't sit in the basement and almost overdose on pills.
And would it have worked to be like, if you ever take a pill, we'll get divorced? Like, I don't think that's going to help either.
No, I think my mom tried that with him. Like, we're done.
He has
that night he's in the basement taking pills. Like, she's just like, I don't know, she needs to realize that addiction, I don't think she understands addiction.
No,
not at all.
That's why it's not really working.
Well, she was even saying last week, which I agree with her, because I think everyone's being a bit critical on her, saying you don't know what to do, but she is saying, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say. So in her mind, for someone that's uneducated, look, I'm finally sticking up for one of the cast members. I deserve a bravo. This is kind of rare. Woo!
Very nice.
But she's right. She doesn't know. So she's like, I don't know. Like, in my mind, that hasn't studied addiction or dealt with addiction before. I think if I give you an ultimatum and say, take one more and this marriage is over, she probably thinks that works. But she's learning, how to deal with addiction.
I feel like a quick Google search would be like, she would realize, I need to get a professional in here. And maybe a professional is in there and we just don't see it on camera, which I hope so, which would be the really healthy thing to do. But
I think she's maybe naive, because when you're in that situation, it's so much easier for an outsider to say, well, do this, do that, don't think this, think that. But when you're so newly married, you want the marriage to work, so you almost convince yourself, like, no, he loves me this much, he will stop. Like, and she doesn't know addiction, so I think that, I don't know, I just think that it's kind of escalating into something. I mean, like I said, I like her. I think that she just needs to become more educated on addiction.
But to shit can her again, because we have to give them a little bit of a shit canning all the time. One thing that once again, it's because it's a light and dark with the show, because you start to like someone and then they do something and you're like, oh. And I was starting to think, oh, look, she's mature, she's taking responsibility for her marriage. But then she got all excited by the drama and she wanted to see Lala and Kristen fight. She was like, I can't wait, I'm going to leave him home, I'm going to watch the claws come out.
Wait! Yeah. I just put that together, like, she's worried about him and his addiction problem, and then she's like, well, I'm just going to leave him on the couch and go watch the drama.
He's happy home with the remote. You should be happy with him on the couch with the remote. You shouldn't be... She might have had to for the show, but...
But what did you think of that? Because that was a part of the show where I kind of thought after this episode, I mean, I'm so bipolar with it. I'm like, 1 minute I love you, 1 minute I don't. But it's like, it's always been my dream to be on a reality show. Years and years ago, if someone said you can be on the cast of Vanderpump Rules, I would be like, yes, that's my dream. But I thought, I could not do that. It is just too much drama. What type of friends... in my opinion, just can't wait that you're mixing everyone together. Let's cause massive drama. Let's get two people to fight and bam.
So unhealthy.
Would you ever want to be on a reality show? Talking about reality shows and like,
I love watching them. I love analyzing them. I love the characters. But I think my marriage is too sacred. My career is too sacred. My family's too sacred. I could never. Because you have to have conflict. Like, you're not interesting unless your marriage is falling apart, your career's in the shitter, So I just would never, create conflict in my life for the sake of being on a show. I don't care.
Yeah.
And all shows are different, too. So you could be lucky and get on a show where there's not as much drama, or you could be cast as the one that everyone loves, but then one thing you do, you could be the villain. And I definitely would be afraid to do something like that, because... it's like you just don't know how they're going to cast you. You could be the nicest person. Like, I could go on a show and be myself and be like, oh my God, I know who I am. And they could totally cast me 100% in different ways. I just think it's, I don't know.
It's a crapshoot.
All my friends and family are like, you should go on The Bachelor because I have the worst luck with guys. And I'm like, that might make it worse. I was like, I don't know if that's gonna, but like, you know, it's one of those things, you only have one life. I don't know, I'm just so indifferent about it. I don't know. I think it depends on the show you are on, if you had a good experience or bad experience. Some people go out with good experiences from them.
Totally, like Bethany Frankel. Yeah, absolutely. But one thing I wanted to ask about the big showdown that we were expecting between Lala and Kristen, which didn't really happen. It was just James, everyone kind of turning against him. Do we think that Kristen has really changed? Because she went in there to confront Lala, to start a bit of a drama, and she obviously told Lala, look, by the way, he called you a slut, he called you a whore. She was trying to aggravate her, and they ended up kind of bonding together. But if she was trying to inflict that drama, do you think that's showing that she hasn't really changed and she's got quite a long way to go? Or what do you think that was all about?
I think maybe she hasn't changed because she was trying to like instigate her, and Lala
She was,
didn't react.
yeah.
So it ended, I don't think, the way anybody thought it would end. But she does say some things that I'm like, you know what, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe she has grown a little. I don't know. I'd like to think she's grown a little. If she's been going to therapy and, you know, that's proactive. That's good for her.
Yeah.
I think she's trying. I think she's trying to change, and change doesn't happen overnight. You know, if you're so into drama and you're so the way that Kristen used to be, there's no way that overnight, not even a month, not even sometimes a year, it takes years. You're not just gonna all of a sudden not be who you are. And some of that, you know, it's just, it takes time. And so I definitely think she's gotten better, but no, she's not perfect. And I never thought I would be on Kristen's side ever, but I felt so freaking bad for her. The way that James, like the way he was talking to her, I literally was like in shock. And then he was like calling Lala a basic bitch. Like, I have never, he is so degrading that I actually felt bad for both of them. Like, I am not a James fan right now, the way he was treating them. And I'm not, like Scheana was saying, I am not a feminist. I'm not one of those crazy feminists, but like that was just wrong, and you don't speak to a woman like that.
Totally. Well, I'm totally on the Kristen. I actually really like what you said just there about that it doesn't happen overnight, and it's a progress and all of that. But I don't think we've got too much long to go, so I wanted to get the prediction music happening because I wanted to know what your predictions are.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ
Predictions.
A psychic, whenever this comes on. I feel like
So, Fern, what are you predicting for the show? And by the way, you are welcome back whenever you want.
I know.
I love you. You've got a sweet energy about you. So what are you predicting?
Let's make it 4. Let's
Done. Yeah, join.
I'm so bad at predictions. I'm always, like, I predict them always wrong. All I can foresee, because we saw Operation Healthy Shea continuing, that's all I can predict. They're going to keep going down that path, but hopefully he's getting real help. I don't know.
For next week, I think that James and the Lala situation is going to either go bad or good. Like, because I can't tell if he hooked up with someone else or hooked up with her. So I think that the majority of the show is going to be on James and Lala. That's what I think.
I think that Lala is going to kind of take a step back. And I think today, this is what I got out of it, she realised this is just too much drama, this is not who I really am. I think she's willing to stir the pot, but she doesn't really want to hurt anyone's feelings, and she doesn't want to lose herself in all of it. I think we're going to see Struggle City, sorry to say, with Scheana and Shay, because it's just, you can't put a Band-Aid cover over it.
Exactly.
But I think she's trying to do the best she can. And other than that, I think we're going to see Stacy come back and bring the drama.
Yeah, when is she coming back?
We don't know. I have heard no word.
Like, I forgot she was even on the show at one point because she's just not been there, and I loved her, and I just don't know where the hell she is, and she needs to come back. Let's like add to the Vanderpump family.
Yeah, she's too busy eating, Justine. And I'm joking.
He's gonna get
I'm joking. I called her. I said she gained a bit of weight one week, and Stacy. I mean, she's obviously very thin. It was just a bit of a joke to poke a bit of fun, and then did her fans just go ballistic at me? So now every show I just kind of poke a bit of fun at her and say, "Oh, you're fat." It's obviously not true, but anyway, all of that. But I think it's time to do a bit of a sign-offs and all of that. And it's just been so much fun. As I said, I think you're great for the show.
Well, thank you.
So you should come back anytime. Give the audience your social media, all of that.
I'm Fern Ronay. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I have a book coming out spring of 2016. It's the story of a single 29-year-old Manhattan lawyer who's guided in her dreams by her dead Italian grandparents. It's called Better in the Morning. There's a reason things are better in the morning. So find me on social media for release information.
And my Twitter is Justine DiVanna3 and Instagram, Let's Face It with Justine. And I'm actually going to have Fern on. I just started my own web show, and you can find it on YouTube at Let's Face It or my website, letsfaceitwithjustine.com. And it's all about beauty, fashion, pop culture. And we just did How to Cheat Your Way Through the Holidays. So check that out.
Perfect. And you can find me on Instagram at Dan Babic and then on Twitter at DanBabic_. It's been a great show. Megan will be back next week. And you are more than welcome to join us, Fern, if you wish, because we've loved having you on.
Thank you.
So until next time, guys, tweet at us, watch our show, and it's been a fantastic night. Goodbye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.